What's going on, guys? I am in the Yukon territory of Canada. I am on an incredible lake with a beautiful mountain in the backdrop. I'm here with my friend Shaun from the Story Till Now, and we are on day 5 of our epic adventure, which I will talk about here for a minute. But what I wanted to do was check in with you guys and do a quick sit rep, which is like a one take, but coffee one take, but we just roll with it here at camp and bring you up to speed on what has been going on to this point. Now, I don't know if you saw the last video, but I almost didn't make it here in the Gladiator. And then on the way here, well, let's just say things have been very interesting. Bats flying around in my camper, rain, snow, all the things. But right now, the situation report is good. I'm here, it's 51 degrees, there's a slight breeze. This is the best weather that we've had since I left home. So let's start with, let's rewind for about 2 weeks ago and what happened. So if you saw the video, there was a little tick happening in the Gladiator. I took it to the guys at Shift. They diagnosed it with a bad camshaft. They contacted Jeep. It was gonna be weeks and weeks and weeks, maybe even months before that gets repaired. I was stressing pretty hard because I was like, all right, now what am I gonna do? What vehicle am I gonna take? Because I had been working so hard to get Doc, my Gladiator, ready for this adventure. And so now I was like, I've only got like a week and I've got to figure out what to do. The guys at Shift came through huge. And a big shout out to my friend Josh over at SoCalX for letting me borrow a cam out of his Wrangler so I could be here. The Gladiator is running amazing. But there was a lot of stress leading up to right before, a couple days before I left. And this is an adventure that, well, Shaun and I have been talking about ever since we left the Arctic Ocean last year. And if you remember, last year we did a month-long trip all the way up through British Columbia, Canada, here in the Yukon. In fact, we camped about, I don't know, it was probably 10 miles that way. Last time we were here on our way up. And then we went through all the way through the Yukon, Northwest Territories, made it to Tuktoyaktuk and camped right on the Arctic Ocean. And ever since then, people have been like, oh, we loved your Alaska trip. How was Alaska? It was great to see you guys up in Alaska. We never crossed into Alaska last year. That wasn't the intent. The intent was to go all the way to the Arctic Ocean. But after having such an amazing adventure, that first bucket trip for us, we were already talking about coming back and this time going to Alaska. And well, that's what we're in for right now. So 5 days ago, I left a very warm and sunny San Diego. I think it was like 78 degrees. I was wearing flip-flops and shorts, just packing my vehicle. It was really nice. And said goodbye to Regina, said goodbye to Luna because she couldn't come on this trip. There was just no way. And began my way up Highway 395, which is a beautiful drive. Now, I could have driven all the way to Canada to meet Shaun, taken I-5, and that would have been faster, but I wanted to make this trip, I wanted to really kind of just get everything out of this trip I could. So I kind of slowed down, kept myself under 8 hours a day, and I drove up Highway 395. I stayed first night up on the Eastern Sierras. I was just north of Mono Lake, if you want to look that up on a map. There was snow on the ground. It was like 21 degrees that night, and while it was chilly, it was a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful spot. But I didn't hang outside very long because it was super cold. So I went from wearing shorts and flip-flops to wearing all my clothes at that camp spot. From there, I drove all the way up to Oregon, just outside of Klamath Falls, to a beautiful BLM spot right on the river. And no, I didn't catch any fish, but I tried. And had a great dinner, relaxed, enjoyed the evening, and I don't remember if I was getting ready to go to bed or if I just heard a noise, but I look inside my tent and sure enough, my camper, and there's a bat flying around and I'm like, oh my gosh. Well, here, look. Yep, there's a bat flying around inside my four-wheel camper. How in the world do I get him out of there? Great. I don't know how do you get a bat out of your tent. I've never had that happen before. And I have bug screens that I can put down, and I didn't have them down because there were no bugs, and so I left them up. Lesson learned for me, next time I'm in Oregon near the Klamath River, I'm gonna put that bug screen down so bats don't fly up in there. Thankfully what I did is I had a headlamp and I put it on the ground, and eventually he flew out. But it was kind of freaking me out because I was like, how am I gonna get a bat out of there? I can't sleep in there with him. That would be creepy. Plus, you know, bats carry disease, whatnot. So thankfully after about 5 minutes, he flew out of there. That was pretty crazy. Then what happened? What was the next night? I'm trying to remember. Where did I go next? I went, oh yeah, I went and visited my good friend Nate from Dirt Lifestyle. So he lives in Washington, and it just happened to be along the route, and now back on I-5 to go see Shaun and meet up with Shaun. And so I spent the night on Nate's property. He has a huge property. I actually camped out like on the lower half of his property, but I hung out with him. We actually filmed a coffee one take together, and so that'll be coming out, I don't know, before or after this video. But I had a great time. It was just good catching up with him. He and I have had so many incredible adventures together over the years, and it was just good hanging out with him. The next morning, I got up bright and early and made my way up to Shaun's house here in Canada. So I crossed the border into Canada and met up with him, stayed the night at his house, kind of regrouped after, I think that was day 3 for me, and went out to dinner with his family, which I love. And the next morning, we were off, and the adventure has begun. And so I am on day 5 now. So the first night we came up through British Columbia, and we drove hard. Yesterday, today have been long days. We're a little tired. In fact, it's nice to be right here on this beach because we've been putting in quite a few miles. But the first camp night was an old place that we had been to before. It was a campground, but it was on a lake, and there was beaver swimming in the lake. There, Shaun caught a trout. I didn't catch anything. I tried, but Shaun did catch a trout, and just enjoyed the evening there. We didn't get to spend a lot of time because we got there late and we had to leave early in the morning. And then we've been rolling hard today, and then we got here, and yeah, it's a good spot. The spot we were gonna go to was the same one we were at last year. I mentioned it was way up the lake that way. There's actually somebody there. And so we started exploring, and we're like, well, let's just drive down a little further, see what's here. Shaun's like, he's determined to find another spot. And sure enough, we found an amazing spot. And there was, like right before I turned the camera on, guys, there was a bald eagle that flew right over the top here. It's incredible. This is just, it's a beautiful spot. We're right on the British Columbia, Yukon border. It's a massive lake. I don't give up my camp spots, but if you do a little research, you could probably figure out where we are tonight. And you got to see this campsite, guys. It's pretty epic. I mean, I've stayed at some great campsites, but this one's pretty good. So we got this nice sandbar right here. Got the beautiful view of the mountain. There's a creek right over here. And then there's just snow-capped mountains all off in the distance. It's absolutely beautiful. And we got, it's I don't know, it's probably 5 or 6 in the afternoon, but the sun last night didn't even go down until I think 10:30, and it was up again at 4:30 this morning. So I imagine that, yeah, midnight the sun might go down, and it'll probably come up pretty early. And as we continue further north, that's just going to be, I mean, we're not going to hit the summer solstice, but we're going to hit some really long days, which is great. It makes for a fun adventure because it doesn't matter if you drive all day because you're still in the daytime. Now, I don't want to give away too much of what's to come, but I want to give you a little bit of insight about what's about to happen. So I mentioned we went to Canada last year. This time, instead of heading north at Whitehorse, we're going to keep going west, and we're going to cross the Canadian border. We're not sure if we're going to do that tomorrow or the next day, and then we're going to be in Alaska for 3 weeks. And we have a whole lot of places that we're going to explore in Alaska, and I'm so excited. I know Shaun is excited, but we have some really cool and unique things that we're gonna go see, some trails we're gonna explore. We've got some hard deadlines for some pretty epic things that we're gonna do that, I don't know, I think this is gonna be bucket trip 3, guys, for us, and I think this one might top them all. We'll see, I don't know. But let's check in with Shaun real quick. Let you guys say hi to him and see how excited he is for this. All right, I only got one mic here, buddy, so I'm gonna flip this around here for a second. All right, this is one take, guys. There's Shaun, story till now.
Hey guys.
How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing fantastic.
You look like you're living La Vida Loca right now.
I'm living the dream. I'm wishing I brought shorts.
It's not that warm. You're just Canadian.
This is Canadian summer, my friend.
Yeah. How has the last couple days been?
It's been good. It's been a strong, solid push.
Yeah.
But we've had some good campsites and some nice evenings, and now we're getting all the rewards.
Yeah.
Today.
How you feeling about Alaska?
Feeling good.
Yeah.
I can't wait.
Is there anything you're most excited for?
Everything except for the small airplane.
Oh, I didn't tell him about the small airplane.
You can just bleep that out.
No. We'll let him know. That's cool. Right on.
I'm just excited because I've never been to Alaska.
Yep.
Other than on a cruise.
Yep.
Which was lame. This is going to be way cooler than
It's going to be way cooler.
I'm excited. I think I'm most excited for the glacier.
Yeah.
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 That should be cool.
Hopefully we'll see more than one if we're lucky.
Yeah.
Sweet. Well, bucket trip 3, buddy.
Bucket trip 3 was bucket trip
3.
3.
Is that a thing?
I don't know. Never mind. Cut that out. Don't put that in the video.
No cuts.
Don't put that in.
It's one take, my friend. It's one take. All right, guys. Honestly, Shaun and I have way too much fun on these trips, and hang on, let me finish this. There we go. And we're gonna have a blast, and I'm excited to share the adventure with you guys. It'll probably be a 3, maybe 4-part series video. We'll see how it goes. We'll see how much fun we have, but we've got some pretty epic things in store. Now, there is one thing, and I haven't told Shaun this, but he's gonna hear this now for the first time. So we will probably do a coffee one take towards the end of our trip, on the way home somewhere, and kind of wrap up. But here's what I would love from you guys. What questions are on your mind about doing a trip like this? Put them in the comments below, and when we sit down to do that coffee one take, I will pull questions from here. I'll pull questions from both of our Patreons, and we will try to answer as many of those. You know, you want to know, like, what our gas mileage was, or how much fuel cost, or how many hours we drove per day, whatever questions are hot on your mind about doing a month-long trip like this to Alaska, let us know. And when this is all said and done, we will do our best to answer those questions. Now, I'm gonna set the camera down, guys, and I'm gonna go get out my chair, and I'm gonna soak this in, because that's also part of this, is really enjoying this. I just wanna say thank you for the support, and I look forward to sharing with you guys an epic adventure. Make sure you check us out over at TrailRecon.com. And until next time, safe travels.